What is your purpose in life? What is it that compels you to get out of bed in the morning? Take a moment to ask yourself these two questions. Then, do these two answers both align with one another? Lately, I've been thinking a lot about what the definition of purpose is, and what we as individuals consider our purpose to be in life. So much so that I reached out to some friends and asked them what they believe to be their purposes in life. After an overwhelming range of different responses, I found there to be 5 common types of answer that I could put into categories. The first, creativity, then comes family, happiness, mindfulness, and finally, routine. Join me as I take a look at what purpose means to people and how it affects the world around us. Jack was the first person that I questioned, and I found his answer to be one of the most open and honest because of how quick he replied to me. I knew his response was part of him. He knew instantly that his purpose was to constantly create, as it's what keeps him going in life. I too fit into this first category of purpose, which I'll share my thoughts on later on. The second category is very much based around family and belonging. Typically, the answers which related to this category were predominantly given from female responses. I found this category to be an interesting one, as it also crossed paths with the next category, happiness. People who gave a family-orientated response often said they wanted to have kids, be happy, and do the very best for their children. This was an interesting notion to me, noticing how a person's purpose was selfless and based around that of another human being, their partners, children, and loved ones, not themselves. Happiness. It's what we all want out of life. When we aren't happy, we're sad, and we're constantly chasing after the next piece of happiness. This was the one word which cropped up again and again among the vast majority of responses to my questioning. Some responses simply stated that they wanted happiness. Others went into more detail and said how they wanted to achieve happiness and what happiness meant to themselves. Now, with that in mind, to ask someone what their purpose is in life, and to have them simply answer, "I want to be happy." Whilst there's nothing wrong with this answer, I personally don't find that to be a purpose in itself. Happiness is the byproduct, the end result, an after effect of someone's purpose which would lead them towards happiness. The fourth category, mindfulness, was one that very few people seem to be placed into. When challenged with the question of purpose, many people seemed very uncomfortable with the thought of opening up to me. Even my closest friends, many, particularly the males, seemed to make a joke out of their answers, as what I guess was kind of a coping or defence mechanism to my question, and then went on to give a quick matter-of-fact answer, as if they didn't really want to talk about it. However, there was a small few who really delved deep into the question and gave quite thought-provoking replies which really surprised me. Take James's answer. His purpose has similar qualities to that of family, which puts happiness and well-being of others before himself. Though upon reading more into his answer, I felt that James fully grasped the meaning of purpose, which kind of brought the categories of happiness and family together as he was thinking about the effects of his own actions towards human beings and his footprint on the world as a whole, not just his family, friends and loved ones. Finally, we arrive at routine. We all have a routine in life, whether it be work, chores, or what we practice to get better at something. A routine can feel daunting, tiresome, and is something that the majority of us loathe. Yet it was the one category that I predicted most of the responses to fall into before questioning people, and soon enough, a lot of my responses seem to fall into this category. Take Kirsty. She is a great friend and a real go-getter. I honestly don't know anyone else more motivated than her. But then I really started to dwell on her response and noticed the statement, "Personally, I kind of feel lost outside of work." Now, the rest of her response was based completely around her work life. I have no doubt that she absolutely gets shit done at work and probably knows her job inside out, but to then state that in her personal life she feels lost, I begin to see a link to how she and a lot of modern society base the majority of their lives around work. A routine, a repetition of something that a lot of us are only doing so that we can pay our bills. Millions of years of human evolution and we arrive at work. A routine. Why would something that so much of us dislike be something that drives people? Why would it be someone's purpose? This very question is what drove me to first creating this project. Let me now explain what I believe my purpose is. I'm coming up for 26 in a couple of months, nearly at the end of my 20s, and nothing scares me more than thinking that I could be old one day and potentially look back at my youth and think, why the hell was I working full time in a job that I hate so that I can save for things later in my life? I believe that my purpose in life is to create projects in whatever medium that I can that have meaning and are thought-provoking enough to get people talking about things in life that matter. I refuse to be a 9-to-5 slave within this constant consumerism society that we live in. I simply want to live, have exciting experiences in the pursuit of my interests, which make me feel alive and give me happiness. The Guardian published an article in 2012 entitled "The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying." This article featured research done by nurses who cared after patients on their deathbeds. The following is a list of common regrets that the patients had. Now, really think about those 5 regrets of the dying on their deathbeds. Hopefully by now you've had a moment to think about your own purpose. If not, then go ahead and take a minute to do so. Sit and think about how those regrets align with your purpose. Does your purpose and current situation of day-to-day living go hand in hand with one another, so that when you reach your deathbed, no matter how far away it may be, you would look back and think, yes, I lived my life with purpose, achieved what I set out for, and lived to the fullest. Life is a crazy thing. As I get older, I notice that so many of us are sheep following the latest trend, set by the latest person in the spotlight on social media, chasing after bigger paychecks to afford bigger and better things, whilst giving up on our most valuable possession that we all have, our time. Question whether you need that latest household item. Do you really need to keep up with the Joneses? Do you really need to work all those extra hours? Are you happy doing the things that you do? So go ahead, ask yourself if you haven't already, what is my purpose in life? What is it that compels me to get out of bed in the morning?